Start the stream. I believe we started chapter 3.
I think it's New Year's, yeah.
No, that's chapter...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
4.5.
It is Christmas time. That's right.
No.
No, festival.
You got it wrong 3 times. Hi, Mage.
Hello, Mage. Didn't that number get bumped up?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
You're now a 6.7.
Went up by 0.8. 0.08. Alright, we are finally back with more Hakuoki SSL, everybody.
And we're continuing Heisuke's route.
And it's time for the cultural festival.
Again! Gee, I wonder what the answers are gonna be this time.
Let's go! Promotion!
Yes, promotion. Anyway. Time flew by. It was already October. As the season gradually began growing cooler, we switched to our winter uniforms. We got mail. Already.
Yes,
It's from friends. Oh shit, I knew it.
I was debating whether or not to say anything, but I figured you got the right to know. The truth is, Hijikata and Kazuma were at the same grade at their university. In other words, he's around Hijikata's age. Don't you think it's questionable for a guy his age to act like that?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Hijikata and Kazuma are like a year or so apart.
Huh?
That's true.
We're going with that's true?
I think so. That's what it is.
Nope.
Damn it! Right? I think that white uniform of his is especially shady. So that's the reason why you shouldn't get too heavily involved with that guy.
Why doesn't Shiranui have a route? Midterms were approaching again and the whole school was on edge. But things were different from the first term, when people weren't ready at all. Everyone knew to prepare for them well in advance this time. Then, as we studied and overcame that huge ordeal one way or another, the next thing that awaited us was... Hell.
Yeah, to put it bluntly. Well, those of me who actually read the program for this year's public event should know this already, but...
At the beginning of morning homeroom, Harada-sensei began to write today's agenda at the edge of the blackboard in big letters. After he finished writing, he turned back our way and slammed his hands on the lectern with a bam.
The cultural festival's at the end of this month. Every year at the Hakuo Academy Cultural Festival, classes vote to judge each other's programs and vote for their favorite. After considering the several of the best picks, the class that snatches an uncontested overall win will receive a wonderful prize.
A wonderful prize?
No way! Is it $1 million or a trip to Hawaii? Nah, come on now. Don't you go flying off into dreamland on me here. An entire class received discount coupons for the school cafeteria last year. Chances are that'll be this year's prize too. Discount coupons for the cafeteria? I'm not sure how I feel about this. Yeah, it'd be weird if people wanted that much, that's for sure.
Everyone's shoulders dropped simultaneously after such a letdown.
Except for one!
You could tell just by looking. Everyone clearly looked down about it. Despite our low spirits, though, there was one within our ranks who felt entirely the opposite. Discount coupons? For the cafeteria? His chair screeched across the floor as he leapt to his feet without a second thought. Hey, you guys. This is one fight we can't afford to lose.
What's gotten you all gung-ho for? What's gotten into you, Ibuki?
You moron, the cultural festival, that's what! The cultural festival! It's a once-in-a-year chance for us to boost our morale as a class. This event is more than key, it's vital. Don't say it's annoying, meaningless, and insert detached feeling here. Get your head in the game! Because we're obviously in High School Musical. I couldn't put my finger on it. What he was saying wasn't wrong, but it felt like he was a bit pent up, kind of. And the drastic music just stops. Harada-sensei looked amused as he watched the state of that our classroom was in.
Well, it's good that you're motivated. And you'll be having me for your first period, so you're just in luck.
He glanced at the time, then looked around at all of us as he spoke. I am eating something, I'm sorry.
Oh well. You guys want to decide on a program sooner rather than later. The earlier we pick, the more time we'll have to get ready after all.
I'm all for it! I plan on leading the charge. The more time we get, the better.
Ibuki reeks of desperation. But I'm in favor of it too. We gotta do it for class. Plus it seems fun, you know? Alright then, it's decided. I'm gonna head back to the staff room for a bit. And while I'm gone, think of a program you guys want to do.
A program for their cultural festival, huh? I opened my notebook to brainstorm about what we could do for the cultural festival. Whoosh. Then, first period came. Although we went back and forth about what program we should put on.
Well, it's not that any of these are bad ideas, it's just that none of them are a shoo-in, really.
It was a shame, but Harada-sensei was right. A drama performance, a cafe, an exhibition booth.
I am putting on my screen a little up arrow, and then above cafe there's a maid.
There were a
That
lot.
is definitely foreshadowing.
There were a lot of proposals that seemed interesting, but it was difficult to say that any one of them could clinch us a win for sure. We couldn't really settle on anything with everyone's clashing opinions, so we ended up wasting a lot of time. But then Ibuki abruptly stood up. Thank you. With his eyes sweeping across the rowdy classroom, he made a decisive announcement. There's only one answer. Our class program will be a maid cafe! A maid cafe? He didn't care how bewildered we were as he mustered the courage to deliver us a fervent, earnest speech. Listen up. If people are gonna vote for us, then we're gotta have something original that no other class has. Having said that, doing something too novel isn't good either. Your average visitor is gonna have a vote, so having something that'll be well acquainted with is key. And that'd be a cafe?
To be fair, you'll be able to use the break room for various things if you do a cafe.
Yeah. And more than that, our class has a secret weapon.
I definitely see him striking a pose as he's standing there, and then he just points at Chizuru.
Yes. The most powerful original thing that no other class in this academy has. In the time he took to take a deep breath, Ibuki's eyes flew wide open. The only female student in this academy, Yukimura Chizuru! I couldn't even express my surprise. I looked up at Ibuki in a daze.
I get it. We use the fact that she's the only girl in school and all the guys will want to come see her as a strat.
How about it? Isn't it the perfect plan? Ibuki was full of determination. It seemed to inspire the rest of my classmates, who were now thoroughly sold on the idea. Save for me, who made up a key part of this plan, and whose thoughts on it were being ignored.
Guys.
Ibuki.
Alright, now settle down. If you're gonna pin all your hopes and dreams on her, then it's best that you hear what she has to say about it first.
Harada-sensei turned his attention to me, who wasn't on board with all of this yet.
Yukimura, what do you think about all this? If this maid cafe is gonna happen, then you'll be pretty much the only one serving the customers. That's no small responsibility.
I thought... Well... Wonder what the answer is.
I need to do it.
I had to do it. Honestly, using me as a selling point to get votes was unthinkable to me. I did feel really uneasy about it, but... It looked like everyone wanted to see this through. If that was the case, then I had no other choice. If my contribution will help everyone, then I'll do it.
Alright, that's final. This class's program is going to be a maid cafe.
Harada-sensei slowly looked around the class.
Listen well, you lot. You got Yukimura invested in this as well now. Aim for victory. Give it your best shot.
Yeah! Everyone punched the air with excited grins on their faces. It's a class of a bunch of idiots, but we love them either way.
Yes.
Seeing everyone like that made me want to put in more and more effort. Once we had decided on a program, everything afterwards went swimmingly. The cultural festival would be at the end of the month. Now that we decided on a program, we had to start going all out on the preparations right away. Looks like things are gonna be busy around here. There was plenty to get ready for a cultural festival. I hoped it would be a fun one. As I was leaving the school with those thoughts in the back of my mind, suddenly, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, you filthy mongrel.
I heard a booming voice coming from the middle of the school courtyard. Surprised, I looked to see what was going on. In the distance, I saw Ibuki and a man with a demonic-looking scowl. I hate this background music so much for it right now.
Don't look at my not wonderful. Yes, sir. I come all the way to your school, and you can't even handle arranging a simple greeting party. What's the meaning of this?
What do I care about that? You just didn't tell me anything. Ibuki was
That's no excuse.
Ibuki was half desperate with his rebuttal. Besides, the fact that you showed up out of the blue expecting them to come out and formally greet you is way too unreasonable.
The fuck said you could talk back to me, you mutt? I think that works.
Yeah.
What did I have to take needs of their consideration? Their needs into consideration. Fuck, you useless piece of trash.
Why are you having so much fun at Shinizawa? The man didn't just stop at verbal harassment, but went so far as to pull at Ibuki's hair. Hard.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Poor Ibuki. In this house, we appreciate Ibuki.
Yes.
Oh god. Is he gonna be my third son?
Probably.
Ah. I was briefly overwhelmed by shock at the situation unfolding before my eyes. As I came back to my senses, I hurried to stop them. Excuse me?
Don't, Yukimura.
Suddenly a hand landed on my shoulder.
This doesn't concern you.
I looked up to see Hijikata-sensei making an incredibly bitter expression. Looking a little impatient beside him was Kondo-sensei. The two teachers rushed over and quickly forced their way in between Ibuki and the man.
Welcome. Thank you for coming all the way out here. Are you here because of that matter we discussed earlier, Serizawa-san? Oh, pardon me, how rude. It won't do us any good to stand around and talk like this. Let's take you to our reception office by all means. I have the perfect tea for my hometown that I can bring out for you.
Kondo-sensei was remarkably courteous while dealing with the man.
So, my reception has finally arrived then. However, I am in the midst of a discipline, so wait a moment. Serizawa-san.
Just before the man could turn to Ibuki again, Hijikata-sensei stood in his way with a severe expression.
You'll disturb the other students if you have an outburst by the entrance here.
Hijikata-sensei threw me a glance while I was standing behind him.
You'll have to think you're standing to think of, so consider this if this is the time or place to do this. You mean to meddle in my obedience training, Hijikata? I don't really like complaining about your teaching methods. Oh. It's just that this is the sort of conversation you should be having at home.
Ibuki let out a small cry over how he'd been quietly forsaken. Hagibuki. Even in Hijikata Sensei's silence.
Filled with anger.
Yeah. That is such a weird word.
It's a weird word for this context, yes.
Yeah. Filled with anger, the man didn't particularly look like he was inclined to let up. May I ask who this man is? I asked the question diffidently, and Kondo-sensei clapped his hands together.
Oh, that's right. This is the first time you've met him. This is Kamo Serizawa. Mr. Serizawa-san is the chairman of the Hakuo Academy board, and works as the Academy's PTA president as well.
I heard that, mister.
You heard nothing? He's also Ibuki's foster parent.
Oh. That's when I Huh?
It's like, oh, pleasure to meet you, sir. They all just like point their weapons. I'm sorry. I saw the blue people avatar like a couple months ago, and that's been imprinted in my mind.
The fuck?
Ask.
That's when I realized that this was the person who Ibuki would grumble about at times.
So, you're Chizuru Yukimura.
You know of me?
You're the only girl in this academy, are you not? You think I wouldn't be able to tell who you are? So, I got wind about the girl whose enrollment Hijikata himself permitted.
He scrutinized me from head to toe, as if he were appraising my value. I resisted the urge to shrink back and straighten my posture as he fixed his gaze on me. Please allow me to greet you once more. I'm Chizuru Yukimura.
My phone finally caught up.
Oh, what?
That was the notification for this stream.
Oh, wow. It's been 22 minutes.
I know, but again, this is like the first time I've taken a look at it, so...
I'm in the same class as Ibuki, and he's always been a great help to me. Serizawa-san stared at me for a moment. He let out what I thought was a snort, then walked off towards the front entrance. With a nod, Kondo-sensei followed after Serizawa-san towards the school building.
Even with how much of a mess it was, you still wanted to step in.
Huh? Muttering that under his breath, Hijikata-sensei took a step forward to follow after Serizawa-san. Then, as if he'd just remembered something, he turned back my way.
Yukimura, your reply just now wasn't half bad. I thought you would have said something about Ibuki then, but you held yourself back. Well done.
Oh, I didn't really do anything. I had a lot of questions for and about Serizawa-san for sure, but now definitely wasn't the time for me to bring them up. After smiling a little at what I said, Hijikata-sensei hurried back to the school building. After Hijikata-sensei and the others had left, I broke into a belated sweat. It seemed like the tension had finally cleared up. Ibuki, are you okay? Yeah, it's just the same old, same old. He let out a sigh like he'd given up a little. But, don't worry about me. Just think of how you can make the cultural festival a success. Alright? My lunches, my fate, my everything is riding on it.
Ibuki, I got some Subway for you.
Holy shit, Subway!
I mean, you mentioned it earlier. I'm like, holy shit, that actually sounds good.
Yeah. But, Ibuki, I totally would approve Subway. Let's be real. Got it. He had said it so seriously that all I could do was give him a stiff nod. I hear Pokemon.
No, you don't.
Do I not? Was I mistaken? No. Am I in a delusion, hunger delusion like Ibuki?
Yes.
Alright. All I had been thinking about was how we could make it as fun as possible. But it seemed to come with its own set of troubles. It was time to start preparing for the cultural festival. What exactly is a cultural festival?
Google.
Google.
Continue.
Huh?
Continue.
Okay. Our school timetables were shortened and we worked on the preparations after school. Class 1-1 was no exception. The whole class was willingly putting in overtime to get the maid cafe ready.
A cultural festival is a celebration of the traditions of a particular people or place.
Okay. So, explain maid cafes and haunted houses and the like.
I hear internet sounds right now in my head. Specifically the dial-up sound.
I know!
On a completely unrelated note, I have made it to the Pokemon League.
Whoa. Anyway. Alright. Done. I was in charge of making the small props. Doing detailed embroidery made up most of the work, though. I only just realized that the ornamentations needed for a maid cafe required a surprising amount of fabric. A tablecloth for every desk, a curtain to separate the kitchen area from the customer area, and the maid outfit, the biggest challenge yet. It's made for a formidable opponent, to be sure. I sighed lightly and gave my hands a break. I've been at it for a while now. I should take a little break. When I went out to the hallway to clear my head, the whole building was bustling with activity. Some people rushed around carrying cans of paint. Others were hammering nails into a variety of things. Even with just a rough look around the hallway, it looked like every class was busy. The way the school building was being decked out for the festival slowly but surely was kind of exciting to see. I craned my head looking all around while walking forward. Heisuke and Okuta said that Class 2-1 was doing a food stand in the courtyard. Saito-san was Class 2-2. I wanted to ask what his program was going to be. I also heard that the gymnasium was being hired out for exclusive use by someone with a lot of leverage.
I wonder who.
Speaking of which, I wondered where Harada-sensei would be. Maybe just the staff room? Maybe the other teachers would be in their own classes. Now, where should I visit? I wonder where we're going.
To the courtyard!
To the courtyard. I breathed in a chest's worth of the comfortable autumn air and let out a light sigh. I thought I'd take a break and get some fresh air for a little bit. But there were plenty of students in the courtyard working diligently to get their stalls ready. That's the crepe stall, and this stall's the yakisoba one. There were more classes that would have stalls in the courtyard than I thought there'd be. I spotted some people I knew in one of the corners of the courtyard and started heading there.
How about we add something different to the menu? Regular old takoyaki's boring anyhow. I beg to differ, good sir.
Fuck you up, tough.
Alright, that's better.
Yeah.
Something different? You mean like putting in a super spicy one in a set of 8?
Why is it always that? Why is it always...
Because it's Heisuke.
No, I mean the whole put in a spicy takoyaki in with the regular takoyaki. It's always that. It's in this. It's in Persona 5. Why?
I mean, to be fair, takoyaki kid. I'm thinking more like we add random garnishes, like squid or red bean paste or some of that weird medicine Sana Sensei is always pushing around. No, absolutely not.
It might kill you.
Listen here, I'm telling you right now as your supervisor, you better not do anything that causes any problems. Especially you, Soji, you dang troublemaker.
Fuck you, Okuta.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Hijikata Sensei's class 2-1 was discussing what to do for their takoyaki stand. Then Heisuke noticed me watching them and his eyes lit up.
Chizuru! You're in the middle of spying on the other classes, perhaps? Oh, God.
Fuck you, Okuta. No, I'm not. I'm on a break. I hurriedly shook my head and Okuta smiled, clearly enjoying himself. You already had your moment, mister.
Also,
Fuck you, Okuta.
your class is doing a maid cafe, right? I'm impressed you got the okay for that. Yeah, I thought Hijikata Sensei would be against it for sure. Zip it. I'll make sure to respect what the students want to do as much as possible, alright? Besides, I gave you the go ahead, so do something that you'll be proud of.
Will do.
Not to think of it, you said you were aiming to win, weren't you?
I think it'd be nice to have fun with it, but Ibuki's really gunning for victory and putting elbow grease into all of this.
Yeah, he's a persistent one for sure. It's a shame though. Pretty obvious that our class is going to win. Hey, hold on there, Soji. What are you saying? The festival hasn't even started yet. This is a contest we're getting into. Alright, there's no point in if we're not in it to win it. We were told that we should do anything we can to win, and that losing would be meaningless. Right, Hijikata? Oh my god.
Fuck you, Okuta.
Yeah, I did say that. Hold up, you guys, come on! It's just a cultural festival, let's just have fun with it! I mean, it better be, you know, to do that than labor away just for the sake of a win, don't you think, Chizuru?
What happened there?
I don't know, but I'm leaving it in there because he's kind of flustered at that, I think.
Your brain was like buffering.
I wonder, shouldn't you aim to win if you got any skin in the game?
I wonder how I should answer. I wonder which one it is.
Do it for fun is the one we haven't chosen yet, but I think that's the right one.
It is the right one. What did he just say?
I mean, yeah, it is Heisuke.
Aiming to win seemed pretty difficult. Of course, it'd be nice if we did win in the end, but given that this is my first cultural festival, I'd like to have fun with it. I think that winning is something that'll follow from that, maybe.
100%! That's exactly how I see it! It doesn't have the word festival in it just for show. You gotta give it all. You gotta go all out for it and have fun!
I feel the same way. Thanks, Heisuke.
I just said the obvious is all. Our programs are gonna give us extra credit in class, so we gotta both do our best and win. Or, I mean, have fun. Fuck. Let's make this cultural festival one to remember.
Thanks to Heisuke, I felt I could look forward to it too. I'd have to put in the work so our maid cafe would be a success. Whoosh.
Whoosh.
When I got back to my classroom, I spotted my classmates making a sign from the maid cafe. That sign says things. I had to keep doing my best. As I was thinking that, I heard someone unexpected speak up from behind me.
That's some fine craftsmanship there.
Oh, Kondo-sensei.
Yukimura, hello. Looks like your class is plenty motivated working on all this.
We all decided to do our best to win.
I see.
Hearing what I said, Kondo-sensei nodded with a happy smile.
You know, the PTA president, Sarazawa-san, covers the expenses of the cultural festival prize every year.
Huh? He does?
Yeah.
I thought of the impression I got of him when I happened to meet him the other day. This kind of came as a surprise.
Well, he'll pay for the prize for this year's winning class as well. So make sure you work hard at it too.
Will do. Thank you for your encouragement.
Every class is preparing programs that seem like there'll be plenty of fun. Can't wait to see how this year's cultural festival goes.
Kondo-sensei walked off with a smile, looking pleased with how much effort the students were putting in. I also wanted to do my very best, and make this festival the very best it could be. Fade to black. Then the day of the cultural festival had finally arrived. Hooray! The classroom had completely transformed into a cafe. Everyone was buzzing while awaiting our grand opening. Ibuki, are you alright? You're looking a little pale.
I just haven't eaten yet, that's all.
I'm fine, just trembling with excitement. And I also skipped breakfast. I did everything I possibly could to prepare for this, working non-stop up until today. But I wonder if it'll bear any fruit.
That actually sounds really good right now.
I'd really like an apple right now. I wish you didn't interrupt me there.
Alright, so here's a citrus berry. Enjoy.
What is a citrus berry?
It'll rejuvenate you.
Okay. Nom.
Berry incident?
Yeah. It'll be fine. Man, you can't even guarantee that, though. Well, we're all in this together, and I don't think there's a single other class that's worked as hard as we have. So I'm sure that things will go smoothly.
That's right, just like Yukimura says. We've all been doing our best for today. Our interior decorations are just as good as any other class, and we have a cute maid to boot, too.
Right. Yeah! Ibuki seemed to have broken through his doubts. He suddenly raised his fist and looked at all of us. Let's go seize our victory! You guys ready?
Oh my god.
Yeah! Ibuki's our third son.
Yeah.
Well, my third son.
Yeah.
Then, after we'd finished firing ourselves up, we heard the chime that signaled the start of the cultural festival. Whoosh! Whoosh.
The cake set is done! Miss Megan, I've got our newest esteemed customer to their seat.
Right away. I was overwhelmed by all the unfamiliar customers, but I was still trying my best. The number of customers kept increasing, and things got really busy in the blink of an eye. And we got mail in the middle of this. Quick, text.
You sending us mail in the middle of a work shift.
A friend. Kozusu!
Yay!
I don't really understand because I've always attended on all girls' schools. How is it having boys in the same class? Are there lots of things to worry about?
Surprisingly, it's fine.
Let's go with that. Alright.
Hey!
Is that so? Chizuru, you're amazing. Do your best.
And this is what I love about her.
And this is where we save.
Welcome. No, wait. Welcome, Master.
The line never seemed to get any shorter. The ads we put up must have worked really well then. I had heard that the others had put up posters that read, "We have a maid here," or something along those lines. Boys. Because of that, I suppose everyone had high hopes for our program before the festival even began. Why?
Because you said boys.
Oh.
It's the boys.
But what do I do? If things don't get any less busy... We couldn't keep up with seating or orders anymore. Just then, yet another customer came through the classroom doorway. I wonder who. Welcome back, Master.
Huh?
Oh, Heisuke. Did you come to try out the cafe? Heisuke?
S- So good! That looks so good on you!
God damn it, Heisuke. Does it really? I'm glad you think that, though. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was worried that this cute type of clothing wouldn't suit me. So, you praising me kinda comes as a relief. Thanks.
No, I mean, it almost suits you too well. You look amazing.
I didn't exactly feel like a maid addressing her master. But I guided Heisuke to his seat while he chatted and laughed. Then Heisuke paused and looked up at me before picking up the menu waiting on the desk.
Chizuru, what do you recommend?
The omurice, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have the omurice then.
As you wish, Master. Please wait for just a few more moments. After that, once Heisuke had completely devoured his omurice, yes, devoured, not eat, devoured, he gave me...
I can hear him going like a buzzsaw there.
He gave me a smile that stretched from ear to ear.
That was super delicious! The eggs were so runny, it was like it came straight out of a Western-style restaurant.
Why Western I'm so confused. Heisuke.
Maybe like, cowboys and that kind of Western?
Maybe? But I know what omurice is. And I'm like, what? As far as I know, omurice is definitely a Japanese thing. Anyway.
Okay, those actually look really good.
Omurice?
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad that you were satisfied with it. Everyone practiced like crazy to get it right. Yeah, to have omurice be perfect, that requires a lot of skill.
It's just,
Huh?
I was looking around while waiting for the omurice, and I noticed something. There really aren't enough waiters, right? You look incredibly busy running around all over the place.
Well, he made a good point. Everyone was trying their best, but there truly was an overwhelming large number of customers.
Chizuru, is there anything I can help out with?
What?
I'm on break right now, you know. I'll lend you my strength.
I'm happy that you feel that way, but this is our class program, so you really shouldn't be helping us out.
Oh, piss on the rules.
What are you holding back for, Yukimura? Huh? We could use all the help we could get right now. He's offering, ain't he?
He gets it. Just like Ryunosuke says, leave the food delivery to me.
Okay, you know what this sounds like?
Another save time. Ryunosuke's got the right idea. I'll help out with the deliveries. I'll be fast as lightning.
Oh boy. Okay. I was still a little bit perplexed, and at that moment, more and more customers than ever before burst in, and the place was completely packed. I was right to save there.
There she is! Like there's the
yes,
the key.
yes, yes. I know. I got it. That's why I burst into laughter. Thanks. I got it. Welcome home. This was surely the largest hurdle we'd faced today. Heisuke was eager to lend a hand. If we wanted to have a chance at winning, this was a battle we couldn't afford to lose. They were doing it. I'm gonna cry. Let's do it. Alright, who's first? Who wants what?
Game on!
Oh shit. Hi, random student.
And then coffee for Okita. Your idiot brother wants a sandwich.
Sandwich. There you go.
I don't think you should give it to him, honestly, but you know.
I have to.
I know!
Ichikata, what do you want? Oh god. Why is Okita and Hijikata sitting together?
The more they hate each other, the more they come to realize that they are actually meant for each other.
Jesus Christ.
They're staring deeply into each other's eyes. I hate you so much. I
God.
love you too.
It's Serizawa and Kondo-san. Oh shit.
You mutt. What are you doing back there?
I can't. Oh my god, I can't. Fuck. I've royally screwed up. I've royally screwed up. Heisuke, help. Ah.
Fuck off, Brad.
Oh god, he's here.
Oh, no.
Can I use you again, Heisuke?
That was not the one that I was hoping he was going for.
That was the one I hoped he went for.
Don't give it to him, it's a trick!
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Thank you.
Yeah. Heisuke. I think we did it. Maybe? Did we? I can't tell, but we have
We did it.
a save. We have a save if it doesn't give us.
Right.
Heisuke did an amazing job backing us up, and thanks to that, we were able to serve all our customers without a hitch.
You called that without a hitch?
I missed 3. There were too many. Thank you so much for your help, Heisuke.
Don't worry about it. After all, I got to work with you, so it was a ton of fun.
There wasn't a hint of a lie in Heisuke's smile, and that grin of his only grew wider.
Hey, it's nice for the customers when you're the one serving them in that maid outfit, but I really do think it's better if we work together. I should really be staying active after all.
While I watched him smile as he spoke, I found myself becoming happier too. Thanks, Heisuke. We kept this mood up and do our... Wait, we'd keep our... We'd keep this mood up and do our best.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it.
There we go. That was kind of dicey there, chat.
Yeah, good thing I still had like 1 Heisuke left.
Yeah.
Afterwards, as the sun moved past its peak, so too did the number of customers. I finally felt the pressure lift off my shoulders. Yukimura, I think we can manage from now on. You can take a break. Huh? Really?
Taking
Yep.
Heisuke with
What?
It's like taking Heisuke with me.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll take things from here. Todo-san is lending a hand. Wait, Toto lending a hand really helped us out. Oh, my brain. How is it still a fried egg? Water.
Yes.
I asked him on reflex, but he gave an approving nod and addressed Heisuke after that. Senpai, you can go with Yukimura. Everyone's been waiting for this festival, so you two should go wander around.
Is that really alright? I mean, she is the star of your maid cafe, so if you take that out...
I have one condition.
Oh.
You have to go out in that outfit to advertise our maid cafe. He did have a point. If I walked around to school in that maid outfit, it'd probably make for some very effective publicity.
What? That's it? You don't really mind, right, Chizuru?
Right. Heisuke looked so happy as he asked that all I could do was agree vaguely. I'd become sort of used to the maid uniform. But I need to gather up a little courage if I wanted to leave the classroom looking like this. Well, it was embarrassing, but...
You look adorable today. You can't wait to take it off. Heisuke, my boy.
If I was with Heisuke, it'd be fine, I guess. I decided to go out while we were still in the I decided to go out while still in the maid costume. Heisuke and I exited out into the hallway.
And there's that haunted house.
We've been moving around so much, and it's already past lunchtime. I'm super hungry.
Right? Let's hurry up and find a food-based program and... Oh, I got a message.
He pulled his phone out of his pocket, and after he hit a few buttons... What did you do? He froze for some reason, as if he'd come to a sudden, horrid realization. Heisuke, is something wrong?
No, not really.
Who's the message from?
Soji.
Come to think of it, Okita was in the same class as Heisuke. Thinking that something was off, I started speaking. Nah, Heisuke, don't tell me. Did something happen with your class?
No, nothing like that. It was just a really boring message, so don't worry about it.
Really?
Skeptical. Yeah, really. Come on, let's go. Your break time won't last forever.
Heisuke. Heisuke averted his eyes and tried leading me by the hand.
Is Okita playing wingman here?
I don't know if it's wingman or Heisuke's way overdue on his break.
Is everything really okay?
Let's give it up.
I'll give it up.
Give it up, Heisuke. There really is something wrong with your class, right?
Wing something, I guess.
I had practically been raised alongside Heisuke after all. I caught something in the way he looked away from me. As I gently asked him again, his shoulders slumped in resignation. What is it? What happened?
Yeah. Truth is my class is super crowded with the stand. Things are kind of bad.
Oh, won't it be bad for them if you don't help out? Then you really need to go.
Yeah, you're right. I really wanted to hang out with you, but... Sorry, if you have time, come visit our class.
Heisuke quickly broke off into a run. I had to think about it for a little, but ultimately I set off at a brisk walk and headed down the stairs, chasing after Heisuke.
Not too close, otherwise they'll see you and be like, "Where do you think you're going?"
Pushing through the crowd, I finally reached the courtyard. There was a long line in front of Class 2-1's takoyaki stand. Wow. I wondered if Heisuke was there. I mean...
He should be.
There was no way I could cut the line, so... Soon I joined the end of the queue. At long last, the line moved forward enough that I could get a closer look at the situation at the stand. Here it is. There I saw Heisuke tending the shop.
Takoyaki coming up!
Heisuke was nimbly spinning the takoyaki, turning them over and over again. Wow. There you go.
And he's got the uniform!
Oh my god!
He's got the jacket!
Yes! God damn it! Suddenly putting into Shinsengumi even though they probably don't exist in this timeline. Or universe. Whatever.
Yeah. They don't exist in this story.
Each and every one of his movements was impressive and decisive, and I found myself admiring him without meaning to do so. The golden brown takoyaki were incredibly appetizing, as was the scent that wafted from them. I was certain that Heisuke must have practiced a lot, because for as long as I known him, Heisuke had always given 100% to anything he did.
What?
Then, at that moment, Heisuke looked directly towards me. As soon as he noticed me, his eyes went round in astonishment.
Chizuru, you came!
I didn't like the feeling of wandering around the festival alone. And besides, didn't you come and visit my class too, Heisuke? So... I thought it was my turn to come and cheer you on this time.
I got it. I'll really give it my all. So... Please just wait a little bit. I'll fix this up right away.
Thanks, Heisuke. Do your best.
Yeah, leave it to me.
However, In spite of his strenuous work, the backed up line to the takoyaki stand wasn't that easy to resolve. Wait, what is that, mage?
Wing something, I guess, is what he said.
People had heard rumors about the delicious takoyaki, so customers kept on coming one after another. It just seemed endless. Between the guests lining the benches at the edges of the courtyard, those waiting and those eating, people were packed in like sardines. Seeing Heisuke desperately trying his best to keep up with the demand, I decisively called out to him. Heisuke, let me help with the customers too.
Well, but Chizuru, wouldn't that be bad for your class?
Hold on. Yay. But you used your own break time helping me, Heisuke, so it's my turn to return the favor.
Okay, it's one thing whenever I do it, but it's another thing for you to do it.
Heisuke fell into a bewildered silence.
Quite the opposite of what I did. Alright, cool.
Yeah, maybe in his head. And then...
Well, why doesn't Chizuru just advertise for the maid cafe while she's out here helping out? Soji?
Is it really alright for me to do that?
Yeah!
At that moment, I had just remembered that Okita was in Heisuke's class too. Okita, who seemed to appear out of nowhere, gave me a light nod of affirmation.
So, we're all on the same page then? If she's not just working for free, she can help out here.
Well then, this will help me out too. Is that okay, Heisuke?
Hey! Alright then, please do.
I did things that, like, regulate the line and bring takoyaki to the customers. I couldn't lose to Heisuke either. I immediately started serving the guests. Whoosh! Then once there weren't so many customers.
Oh, thanks for waiting, Chizuru. Looks like things will be alright even if I slip out now.
Good work, Heisuke. I greeted him with a smile, but his shoulders slumped out of guilt.
But you don't have much time left in your break, right? So...
As he said that, he also showed me... takoyaki?
It's some that I grilled. I was thinking we could, you know, eat these together at least.
Thank you, Heisuke. I'm so happy. He gave a relieved smile, but his brows immediately furrowed again right after.
I'm really sorry. This ended up taking so long.
No, it's fine. It was certainly true that my break was nearly over. But Heisuke felt the need to help when I was overwhelmed. It was just so like him to do that. And I wanted to follow his example. Afterwards, we walked around looking for a quiet place to eat our piping hot takoyaki. Whoosh. We got mail. Who's it from?
Friends.
Heisuke.
Oh, Heisuke.
Takoyaki master.
Ah, my arm hurts. Oh, that's okay. I don't even know how many hundreds of takoyaki I made today. But I guess that's why I got so good at making them. You think I can make some at your place next time?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Ah!
No! Yeah, I'll cook them to the best of my ability, so expect tasty results.
For some reason I knew it was the other one, but I didn't go with it. Damn it! Damn it!
And yeah, good saving point. Then we gotta go help out Ibuki after this.
But first, we got our scene that we see every single time, and I wish we could skip it. Very.
Well, I need to act with my mouth full.
Very soon, the long day came to an end. A chime sounded to signal the end of the festival, and all the customers who had come to the school as visitors headed home. The evening sun shone through the classroom windows as we tidied up while waiting on the school festival's closing event. We put away the large decorations another day, since that would be quite time-consuming. But there was trash to clear up, more so than usual, given the festival had been a school-wide affair. And there. I grabbed a garbage bag and walked towards the refuse collection point behind the school. Brain, concentrate, please.
Mr. Shimada-san, does all the burnable waste go here? Yes. Please don't forget to separate out the cans, the jars, and the plastic bottles from each other.
Shimada-san, the school janitor, was talking to Yamazaki-san, who also came to throw out some trash.
Looks very different than his Shinsengumi counterpart.
The teachers all relied on and trusted Shimada-san a lot. He was the unsung hero of Hakuoki Academy. When we first met, I was shocked at the sheer size of his stature, but I came to know him as a gentle giant. He was very kind. There were rumors that he absolutely adored sweets, which explained how he'd gotten so big. Or something along those lines, at least.
I'm pretty sure Effie would absolutely say, no, you only get this big by consuming all the protein. Yeah!
Oh my god. Oh, Yamazaki-san, Shimada-san, I brought some more garbage.
Oh, sure. Yukimura, thank you for your hard work. Yeah, thanks. Did you come to throw trash away too?
That being said, there really is a lot of it today.
Wow.
Waste was piled up high in one corner of the courtyard. Shimada-san gave a small, dry smile while looking upon the garbage heap.
It's a sign that things were successful, I suppose. I've worked here as a janitor ever since the school was founded. But this year's cultural festival had quite the turnout, didn't it?
Really?
Yeah. It was even more exciting than last year's, in my opinion.
The enthusiasm for the festival still lingered as I looked upon the school, awash in the colors of twilight. But as the sun vanished, so did that enthusiasm little by little. As the loneliness weighed on my heart, I heard people approaching us in the rear courtyard.
In other words, all that excitement means that this was the best one yet, right? That's exactly why we teachers had it so rough.
Please tell me you have the button ready.
I do. That being said, the most important thing is no major problems came up.
Oh, it's Harada-sensei and Hijika...
A little early, I'll admit, but that was pretty good.
Ta-sensei... It looked perfect in my eyes. I don't know how that turned out on stream at the recording. The two of them looked different from what I expected. For some reason, Harada-sensei and Hijikata-sensei were wearing aprons. Moreover, the design and colors of the aprons were contrary to the image I had of those two. They looked kind of cute, in a way.
I absolutely can see that Harada would definitely rock pink. Those are some very unusual outfits to see the two of you in.
Harada and pink.
Yes. Absolutely. May I ask why? My class ran a takoyaki stand, but we prepared way too many ingredients. The class was talking about eating them as soon as possible.
I have food in my mouth. Hijikata-sensei spoke with a dejected expression. Now that he mentioned it, there were conspicuous sauce stains at the bottom of his apron. You mean to say you cooked it personally, Hijikata-sensei?
Yeah, I got a rare look at Hichikata's laser-focused on takoyaki face. Oh, shut up. Well, I couldn't let the students do it. Just them.
Hijikata-sensei gave a wry smile and suddenly looked behind him. Standing there was Nagakura-sensei, his cheeks stuffed full from the veritable mountains of takoyaki he was carrying.
Well, I can really eat this bazooka. Yeah, consider it a reward for all your hard work. Don't be shy, eat up. So we're basically all just taking a little break, as you can see.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna hit the other button for this one, but okay.
Oh, I can hit that one too. You goddamn snake!
When I followed Harada-sensei's line of sight, I noticed that Sanan-sensei had also appeared.
I will be helping myself to some as well.
Sanan-sensei was also snacking on some takoyaki behind Harada-sensei and Hijikata-sensei.
With that mysterious red liquid. Anyway, I want my butt off there. My stomach was all stiff and I'm super worn out. Well then, would you like to try this out?
Sanan-sensei promptly produced a small bottle filled with the crimson liquid.
I am rapidly shaking my head. What is that? Oh, it's an energy drink that I created. One sip will completely remedy any fatigue you have. Please drink it if you'd like, Nagakuras. You goddamn snake! It's amazing! Oh, thanks a bunch! Nagakura-sensei, wait! What's wrong, Yamazaki? Is something the matter, Yamazaki? No, it's nothing. You goddamn snake!
Harada-sensei laughed lightly at their exchange before extending the takoyaki offer to me too.
You should eat some too, Yukimura, if you're in the mood.
Are you sure?
Of course! Welcome to our humble store, milady. Allow me to show you to your seat.
Alright.
I swear. Harada, please don't tease the kids like that.
I couldn't help feeling shy being in the middle of everyone like that. God damn it, Harada. The closing event of Hakuo Academy's Cultural Festival was non-compulsory, taking place after the sun had set. Of course, almost everyone from my class chose to participate, but there were also a few who didn't. And so, before the ceremony and the announcements of which class won, students from every class gathered on the school grounds.
Students of Hakuo Academy, before the closing ceremony, let me officially announce the end of the school festival!
Serizawa Sanotsu made an appearance alongside Kondo-sensei on a stage in front of the school building.
Thanks to all of your incredible efforts, this year's cultural festival ended up being a great success. For some class programs in particular, things were more climactic and exciting than ever. Now then, the chairman of the PTA, Serizawa-san, We'll now announce which class won the popular vote.
He has paper, the most dangerous thing you could give him. Serizawa-san looked completely uninterested as he unfolded the paper he was holding.
By virtue of gathering the most votes, this year's winning class is...
Please. Ibuki murmured that hoarsely with his hands clasped tightly in prayer. The others in the class, and I, waited for the announcement with bated breath.
Class 1-1. Huh? What?
Yes! This isn't a dream, right? Our class actually just... Our class actually won. Ibuki was rendered speechless, so he struck a huge victory pose instead. With this, I'll be able to eat lunch like a normal person from now on. It's like a dream come true. But then, as we were celebrating...
Chugga.
Serizawa-san appeared behind Ibuki before any of us even realized it.
You said, eat lunch like a normal person. Aren't you misunderstanding things?
Huh?
But we won, right? That means the school lunch discount coupons are ours, right?
I don't know where you heard such a rumor, but that's not what this year's prize is. It's a class-wide prepaid book card.
A prepaid book card. How is that possible? I didn't hear about this. Perfect.
You irritating pest. You must have purposefully misunderstood. Come here.
Don't pull my ear!
Yeah, that's not very effective in making them understand. Grab a pair of needle nose and...
Jesus Christ, no. Stop it. Midget. In the end, many students were happy, but Ibuki alone was so depressed that it seemed like he'd never recover from it. And then the very next school day, Chizuru gives him a packet that was sent from Haruka.
Yeah.
With that, the cultural festival came to a close. Serving all those customers had been tough, but it ended up being a fulfilling day. Thanks to everyone's hard work, I had no doubt in my mind that this day would become a wonderful memory for me. Love.
Yay!
School. Day off. Episode 3. Okay, now it's Christmas.
It's Christmas time.
I would do the Padoru, but I don't have that in my head right now in a moment.
What?
I don't remember the lyrics. I know where it goes by, but I don't remember the lyrics.
Well, fuck.
Yep. With the cool autumn having passed, even the midday wind started growing cold enough to chill the bones. Patches of frost started to linger in the shade, and our breath formed white clouds outside. Winter had begun. The calendar already read December. I didn't dislike school, but one Monday morning I couldn't help but feel a bit gloomy. Heisuke had left for early morning club activities along with Okita, Saito-san, and the others, so I found myself walking to school alone. We got mail. Who's it from? Friends. Who is it? I'm sorry for his behavior. Who is it from? Which one of the two?
Shiranui, maybe?
Amagiri.
Hey. I offer my deepest apologies for the inconveniences of Kazuma's behavior. It seems that Kazuma has taken a liking to you, so much so that he's disregarded the stares of those around him and has acted in an unreasonable manner. However, that's how things always are, so don't worry about it. I'll keep that in mind.
Let's see. Nope.
Damn it! It'd be a hindrance for your school safety and could be certainly a problem. Please do keep that in mind.
I really did feel sleepier on Mondays, because it's a Monday.
Yeah, are you sure that Chizu isn't part cat because there's a certain orange cat that hates Mondays?
Oh, if she's a cat, then no wonder that Okita likes her. As I held back a yawn while going through the school gates, a cheerful voice greeted me, one energetic enough to chase away all my lingering drowsiness.
Ohio, Yukimura. It's truly a lovely morning, isn't it?
Ohio, Kondo-sensei. You seem to be grinning more than usual today. Did something special happen?
Oh, of course. You'd be since your first year, you don't know it yet. It'll be explained later today at the school assembly. But, actually, come Christmas, I dress up as Santa and give presents to students here at school every year.
We need Kondo as Santa. Dressed up as Santa.
Yes.
We really do. It needs to be rectified. Now that you mention it, it is nearly Christmas, isn't it? But do you do it all by yourself, Kondo-sensei?
Of course. I can't just hand off such an important role to someone else, you know? Seeing students' faces smile as I hand out their presents, I just can't help but look forward to it every year.
He struggled to contain his beam of excitement. I couldn't help but grin and let out a small giggle myself. Honestly, with a man like this as its principal, I was really glad that I enrolled in Hakuoki Academy. Well then, I will also be looking forward to this year's Christmas event.
Great! I decided to splurge a little bit this year too, so I hope that you do. Hey, Kondo. Oh, Yukimura, you're here as well.
Ohayo, Hijikata-sensei.
Yeah, listen.
Hijikata-sensei had suddenly approached the two of us at the gate. Kondo-sensei noted his unusual weary expression and his eyes narrowed in confusion.
Itoshi? What happened? Your face is nearly pale. Did some bad news come in this morning? Well, bad news. Yeah, you could certainly call it bad news. Long story short, Christmas is canceled.
Whoosh.
I have some upsetting news for everyone here today.
Attending morning assembly in the schoolyard was hard for students during this time of year. The freezing winds ripped through the campus. Even just standing outside was torture in winter. All the students were lined up according to which class we were in, our shoulders hunched in the cold as we listened to our principal's announcements. But he looked worse off than all of us, his face paler, his shoulders more slumped, as he addressed us from the dais.
Now, we have a last-minute announcement from the PTA chairman, Sarazawa-san. This year, Sirizawa-san has kindly decided to host a Christmas party for school staff and a few selected students. As a matter of fact, this party will be hosted in place of our usual Christmas event.
Surely by usual Christmas event, he meant the gift-giving one he was just telling me about so enthusiastically. Kondo-sensei shook his head a little as he spoke, his broad frame sagging miserably.
Invitations will be delivered to those who were chosen. Students who accept will have until the day of the party to prepare presents. Those presents will be for a gift exchange at the party.
Nah, Todo. Did Serizawa-san host a party like this last year too?
Why are you here? Nuh-uh. At least not last year, no. Kondo-sensei seemed surprised too. Must be a first this year. For this year.
Okita's pissed. Kaoru and Heisuke's classes happened to be lined up near mine, close enough for me to overhear their conversation, which left me puzzled. It seemed that the older students were just as surprised at this unforeseen development. Students murmured to their neighbors here and there. In the midst of all this... Ibuki's face had already gone pale, and it was getting whiter by the second. Ibuki, are you okay? If you're not feeling well, I could call over Sanan-sensei. No, that's okay. But that guy hosting a party with a bunch of hand-picked students, what's with that? What's he scheming? I'll say this much. He's definitely not doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
I'll say. No, I'm sure you all have your questions, but regardless, this is how it's going to be. Students and teachers alike who are invited should treat it as if it's a compulsory event. That is all. Dismissed.
With that, the morning assembly that had shocked the whole student body came to an end. On Hijikata Sensei's cue, we students dispersed, hurrying back into the school building. What was first period again? As I changed into my indoor shoes and started walking to my class, I felt a tap on my shoulder.
Yukimura.
Hijikata Sensei, do you need something?
Not exactly. You heard about the thing before, right?
Kondo Sensei was looking forward to it so much too. It's really too bad.
Yeah. I'm actually a bit worried about that. I wanted to try turning into something Kondo-san might be able to appreciate.
Really? Hijikata Sensei gave me a small nod in response, his expression determined.
And about that, I'm only assuming at this stage, but say if you receive an invitation, what would you do?
I would...
Go.
Yeah, go. After thinking on it for a moment, I gave a small nod. I'm not confident that I'm an outstanding student or anything, so I'm not so sure that I'll be invited, but if I were, and he went through the trouble of doing so, I think it would be rude not to accept. I'd likely be putting the teachers in a difficult position too if I refused the invitation.
You really don't have a talent for overthinking things, don't you? You don't need to worry about us, too. What's with the fucking capybara, mage?
What? Wait, what?
Go Go look in the Discord chat.
Why is there a capybara with a yuzu on his head?
That's what I'm wondering. Anyways.
Hijikata-sensei watched me intently, his expression both amused and exasperated. Is it?
You're an outstanding student, you know. There's no doubt that you'll be getting an invitation. Your grades aren't bad, and you listen properly to your teachers. Not to mention you always strive to improve yourself. But, if that's the case, then it seems like the whole thing backfired on me.
Hijikata-sensei said that with a deep sigh. You say that no matter which option I choose.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why. He fixed his gaze back on me, a miserable look in his eyes. This party of Serizawa-san's had sprung up out of nowhere. It quickly became the talk of the school. Then, during lunch break, I climbed up to the rooftop to meet up with Heisuke and Okita for lunch.
Oh! She's here! She's here! She's here! Over here! It's quite warm with the sun out today.
You're eating with us today then, Sato-san? He didn't normally sit with us for lunch. I greeted him with a nod and a smile. But where's Okita?
Well, Soji's been kind of a bad mood since this morning, and he's ran off somewhere for lunch, you see. So I thought we could eat with Hajime instead.
A bad mood? That struck me as a little odd as I sat down next to Sato-san. I opened up my bento. As I did, Heisuke sunk his teeth into some bread and spoke up again.
Which is perfect because it's a Subway sandwich. Huh? Oh, Christmas party all of a sudden? The announcement itself was very sudden as well. Even the teachers seemed surprised by it.
Serizawa-san, though. He's the one who came to see the cultural festival, right? Not only was he the Hakuo Academy's board chairman, but also the PTA chairman and Ibuki's foster father. From my first impression of him and from how timid Ibuki was around him, he seemed to be very strict with his discipline, but the long, loud sigh that Heisuke let out hinted that he might hold the same opinion.
Serizawa-san's party, huh? Even if I were to somehow get an invitation, just got a bad feeling about it all. Oh. That's a shrewd stance to have, Heisuke. But it was with Serizawa-san's assistance that Hakuo Academy was first founded. You mustn't assume the worst of him now, either. Yeah, but I mean, Hijikata-san doesn't... Damn it. Hijikata-sensei doesn't like Serizawa-san either, right? Yukimura, don't. This doesn't concern you.
I heard the door. Now that he mentioned it, Hijikata-sensei had seemed fairly tense the last time the two met.
It's true that they do seem to quarrel at every given opportunity, but...
Sato-san, crossing his arms and pondering that thought, looked up at me.
Yukimura, what do you think about this party?
From where I stood, Serizawa-san's Christmas party was...
It's a little worrying because of Heisuke.
something I looked forward to.
Really?
That's what the guide says.
Or Heisuke, even though he's just like, but this is such bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm trusting the guide on this one.
Alright.
I think I'm looking forward to it, really. I mean, who knows how it'll turn out in the end? And any party where lots of people are around seems like it would be fun to me. Heisuke's expression darkened into a frown when he heard my response. But Saito-san gave me a small nod.
I think so too. Whatever sort of party Serizawa-san plans. And no matter what one may think of him, I think that he could host an enjoyable party.
I agree, though I do have my worries. I feel more excited than I do worried as of now. Heisuke, you okay, buddy?
Just a little constipation, don't worry about it.
What the fuck? What the hell? Heisuke suddenly brought his breath to his lips, making a face like he wanted to say something. Just what kind of event would Serizawa-san's party turn out to be? Whoosh! The day's classes had finished, and there were only a few more school days left in the term.
Well then, let's wrap it up here for today. Take care of yourselves on the way home now. Sir, yes, sir!
As the bell rang to dismiss us, the students abruptly stirred up a commotion all at once. Getting ready for their club activities, opening up their phones to text, making plans for the way home with their friends. I took my time putting my things away as I watched my classmates out of the corner of my eye. What should I do today? Maybe I just go straight home for today. Or maybe I should stop by the station and buy some groceries for dinner.
Hey, wait up a moment, Yukimura.
Hi. I stopped and turned back to the classroom upon hearing Harada-sensei call out to me.
I have something for you. Here.
The single card Harada-sensei handed me was bordered in gold foil because of course it is.
She got the golden ticket. She got the golden ticket.
Later we would find out that, there's more than one. Is this, by any chance...
I'm sure you've already guessed, but it's an invitation to Serizawa-san's party. I do have my 2 cents, but it's in your hands now. Be sure to read it properly whenever you get home, alright?
Serizawa-san's party, huh? I muttered to myself as I left the class, looking the invitation over. Now that I think of it, I wonder who else was invited. I'd feel better if other people I knew were going, too. I wonder if I should try asking around. Oh, we're getting this scene. With that in mind, I found myself heading for the courtyard. There were people getting ready for club activities or waiting to walk home with their friends. It was more crowded than usual, so soon after class dismissal. There has to be someone I know around here. I looked around, hoping to catch sight of someone I recognized.
Like I said, there's no way she's gonna spend Christmas with you.
The bellow came from nearby.
Huh, I wondered what you had to say, but to think it was something so foolish. No matter what insignificant scum like you say, it has been settled. I will be spending Christmas with my bride.
I never agreed to any of this, Kazuma.
You sure do talk tough for someone that hasn't even asked her yet. And normally, even if she was spending Christmas with somebody, it'd be me and not you. We've known each other for ages. I mean, that's how it always was when we were little. It's unsightly to cling to the past, though. Heisuke Toruo.
I overheard Heisuke and Kazuma arguing. Maybe it would have been best for me to stay out of it.
No, go help your boy.
If I were to show up right when they were arguing about me, I was positive it would only make things worse. Thinking that, I slowly backed away.
If you dare say such things, then so be it. I'll force you to face reality. All will be made clear if we ask the woman herself. Isn't that right? So, my petit chauffeur?
God fucking damn it. Kazuma's gaze pierced through me, stopping me in my tracks. Heisuke's eyes also went wide when he noticed me.
Chizuru? Wait, did you hear all that just now?
Kinda?
If you were listening, then there is less to explain. I'll ask now, then, shall I? Between myself, your future spouse, and this self-proclaimed childhood friend of yours, who would you rather spend Christmas with? Surely with me, I know. You don't even need to answer. I know. You didn't even ask him properly!
Puffing up in anger, Heisuke suddenly grabbed my shoulder.
Hear me out, Chizuru. Spending Christmas with this guy would seriously be the dangerous danger of all dangers out there.
Dangerous. That is a word.
That's what I said, so what?
Calm down. Your words are getting all mixed up.
I know what I said.
Also, even if you ask me about Christmas, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, since I just got an invitation to Serizawa-san's party.
Serizawa-san's party, huh? They said only exceptional students are invited. So then, if you were invited, then
After casually considering this for a moment, he suddenly turned from us and left. Eh?
What's with him?
Normally, he would snap and bicker for longer than that. I found his sudden change to be puzzling as I watched him walk off.
Don't question it.
Heisuke seemed to feel the same as I did. He cocked his head a little in bewilderment.
Well, whatever. More importantly, Chizuru.
Then, just as Heisuke was about to say something...
Heisuke. Perfect timing. And Yukimura.
We're gonna see this for a third time.
Yeah, I know.
Harada-sensei suddenly strolled up to us.
If you're on your way home, then never mind. But would you two mind coming with me? There's something I'd like a hand with.
Hi.
I'd be happy to help.
I'd be happy to help.
I mean, fuck that guy, but you know.
Fuck the bitch.
Yeah.
Even in another universe. After only a moment's thought, I nodded my head. I'd be happy to help. What do you need a hand with?
Oh, sorry guys, but it's a lot of physical labor. You see, the new textbooks for the year have arrived. I'd like to split up the work and distribute them to each class. You two mind helping me out?
Sure.
Yeah!
Following close behind Harada-sensei, we headed towards the staff room.
Here we go. These are the ones. There are quite a few, so take care.
Next to Harada Sensei's desk was a tall pile of textbooks. There were books for each student in my grade. It takes so many trips to do this by myself.
Let's get to it then. Don't push yourself and carry too much stuff, alright?
As Heisuke grabbed a bunch of textbooks, he let out a deep sigh, pulling a face that belied his tone. What's wrong, Heisuke?
Oh, it's just that. About that thing we were talking about before? That's right, you were having some kind of argument, weren't you? Something about Christmas? Did something happen?
Prompted by Harada Sensei, Heisuke glanced my way.
I'm sure you know, Sano, since you're her homeroom teacher and all. But Chizuru's dad is on a faraway island and on some kind of business trip.
He's busy these days, after all. He says he'll be back sometime this year, at least.
I don't think so! Right? So, I thought maybe you might get lonely at Christmas, and I was wondering if there was anything I could do about it. But then, who would have thought Serizawa-san would throw a party, right? Everything I thought up all of a sudden became pointless.
Heisuke was crestfallen, his shoulders slumped. But hearing he'd put so much thought into it made me genuinely happy, and I broke into a smile. Thank you, Heisuke.
It looks like I won't be able to do anything in the end, so there's nothing left to thank me for.
No, even so, it's the thought that counts. I gave Heisuke a pleasant smile. Harada Sensei ended up smiling naturally too, while he watched us.
That ain't half bad reasoning. That ain't half bad reasoning for you, Heisuke. Hey, what do you mean for me? Well, I get how you feel though. Everybody's in a Christmassy mood around, now. Anybody would feel the urge to do something special at this time of year. Same goes for you too, right, Yukimura?
In response to Harada Sensei's question, I said,
that's true.
That's true. That's true. It was only natural to feel a kind of anticipation as Christmas drew near. Even with my concerns about Serizawa-san's party, I was more excited for it than anything else. But I could see how conflicted Heisuke was in his expression. It made my heart ache, even though he put so much thought into things for me. Are you okay, Heisuke?
I'm fine. It can't be helped, but I wish at least we could go to the party together. But Serizawa-san's party is just for exceptional students, right? There's no way I'm invited. What are you talking about, Heisuke? You're on the invitee list, if I'm not mistaken. What?
No,
Really, Sano? I mean, Harada Sensei? Why would I lie about something like this? As far as I know, it's true. Hijikata Sensei's been swamped with work, so he's probably just late handing out invitations. I bet he'll do it in homeroom tomorrow.
That's great, Heisuke.
It's more than just great, but yeah, it's different from what I had in mind, but this way we can still spend Christmas together!
Whoosh!
Yeah.
I was surprised at how overjoyed he'd become. After that, Heisuke was all but skipping as we brought the textbooks into the classrooms. We finished delivering the books much earlier than expected and made our way back to the staff room. Suddenly, Heisuke stopped in his tracks, crossed his arms, and tilted his head.
Oh yeah. It's kind of late to be thinking about it, but
Hmm?
why was I even invited? I'm no honor student, that's for sure.
You aren't even trying to deny it. But, even so, grades aren't everything, right? You do well at kendo, after all. Your team got second place in the fall tournament, and you placed third in the individual matches, right?
Yeah.
He and Okita were part of Hakuo Academy's kendo club. They had come second in the fall district tournament. Heisuke had led the charge towards victory, nabbing a win before anyone else in the very first match.
Yeah, it's not so, huh? I guess Sirizawa-san appreciates that kind of work too. Oh, but hang on, that means they'll be coming as well.
They?
That Soji and Hajime. In the solo matches, I lost to Hajime and got third. Then Hajime lost to Soji and came in second.
Oh, so gold, silver, and bronze were all from our school for the individual matches then.
Yeah, that's right. But don't think Soji's the strongest just because he got first place. Hajime just has the upper hand when I'm up against his left-handed stance. And when Hajime lost to Soji, it was only because he was tired from fighting me. Soji said if he wasn't already tired, he'd still win, but really, you never know just how it would have actually turned out.
Heisuke clenched his fist as he labored the point. But what I got from it was that all of them were really good at kendo.
Blah, 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 gold, silver medal, blah, 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 we're all awesome at kendo, blah, blah, blah. Is that about right?
I mean, yes. It seemed like he had a good rivalry going on with the others, but it also looked like boys just had to know who was stronger than who. Uh-oh. We know what's coming.
Yeah.
One day at a time, the calendar's pages turned, and soon enough, the end of the year was close. It was the night before the last big event before we could welcome in the new year, the Christmas party. As I lazed about on my bed, I looked over at the present I had prepared for the next day. I wonder if whoever gets this would like it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, but I guess I'm still a bit worried too. Who in the world would get my present? I wonder whether the party at Serizawa-san's would really go off without a hitch. I rolled about on my bed, torn between excitement and worry. Suddenly my phone beeped with an email notification. From Ibuki?
Help me.
It read like someone's dying message. For a moment I could only sit there speechless. Ibuki, what's wrong? Should I call the police or an ambulance if I didn't get a reply?
Me.
I found my finger hovering over the emergency contact out of reflex as I waited tensely for Ibuki's reply. But before long, he sent me another email. The truth is, I was left in charge of getting the venue prepped and decorated for tomorrow's party, but the storehouse is in such a state I can't even begin to search for the decorations. We're clearly short on helping hands. Even though it was just a text, I could somehow hear the fatigue in his voice. It was the sound of someone who'd been driven into a corner. Since it's that bad... Want me to come help you out? I could come early tomorrow morning. We should have plenty of time to prepare for the party then. I only hesitated for a second. I typed out my reply quickly and hit send. Really? If you really mean it, then yes, please.
The next day, she goes over next door. Wake up, idiot! We gotta go help out Ibuki.
After we'd finish our back and forth, I sighed deeply. If I'm going to help him out early tomorrow, I better get to sleep early too. But even if I'm there, I'm not sure it'll be enough. Will I really be much help with so much decorating left to do? It might be best to have at least another pair of helping hands. Looking through my phone's address book, I started to feel sleepy. Eventually, I gave into it and flopped back into my bed. I really hope.
Feeling I know too well.
I really hope tomorrow's party would go smoothly. All right, how does this go? At last, December 25th had arrived and the whole world was abuzz over Christmas Day. At least half of the world, anyway. As per my promise with Ibuki, I woke up early and started getting dressed. It's a little early, but I can use the extra time to get ready. When I was mumbling to myself,
Hey! Shizuru!
the voice caught me by surprise. I opened my window and saw Heisuke waving at me from his garden next door. Alright.
Oh, you're awake, huh? Oh, hiya!
I would have probably woken up with you screaming outside my window, Heisuke. Oh, hi, Heisuke. Is something wrong?
Yeah, I was just thinking of returning that book I borrowed from you. You think I could leave it in your mailbox?
Don't bother. I'm heading down right now, so just wait a minute.
Alright, here's that manga I borrowed. Thanks.
Wait, Chris, is that winter Heisuke.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Did you read the whole thing? Okay, more proper, Winter Heisuke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. I wasn't too keen on reading a shoujo anime at first, but it was surprisingly interesting.
He read a shoujo manga?
I guess?
Okay, manga for girls.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
These days there are more and more manga series that people can enjoy, regardless of gender. I love this message.
Yes. Right? I was surprised by how well they depicted all the battle scenes. Wait, hold up.
What?
Is this good? I'm thinking, is this like a similar manga adaptation to like Kyoto Winds and Edo?
In universe. In universe, oh my god, Shinsengumi is a manga.
I think that's what they were going for here.
I mean, if you want to see it that way, sure, but my brain went immediately to Madoka.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because that's the first thing that popped in my head for battle scenes. We talked about stuff like which characters we liked and what we thought about certain scenes in it. While we were in the middle of talking about the manga, Heisuke suddenly tilted his head at me.
But wait, if you're dressed like that, are you heading off somewhere?
I'm supposed to go to Serizawa-san's house.
Isn't it a little early? I thought the party was starting later tonight.
Well, I'm supposed to help out with the party preparations.
When I told him about Ibuki's message from last night, Heisuke's cheeks puffed out in dissatisfaction.
Why didn't you say so? You ought to ask me as soon as you need help at times like these.
He puffed out his chest as he offered to lend a hand.
Oh, hey, there he is. Hey, Ryunosuke!
Yukimura and Todo-senpai too. Why is he here? When I arrived at Serizawa-san's house with Heisuke, Ibuki's eyes widened in surprise. But when I explained the details, Ibuki grabbed me firmly by the shoulders, his eyes moist with deep emotion. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
My son. Yukimura, I knew I was right to ask you for help. I never thought you would bring such a valuable asset with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome?
So, Ryunosuke, what do we need to do?
Oh, you guys need to find the Christmas decorations. We need. They're in the storehouse out back. Just bring them out. Then, after you bring them to me, we'll decorate the rooms inside.
You got it. Alright, let's do this.
We received a list from Ibuki and headed off towards the storehouse in a corner of the back garden.
I can't wait to see what kind of shenaniganery unfolds.
You know what?
Let's make this a save point.
Yep.
Because there's a minigame coming up, chat.
It's not hard, but I mean, just in case, I mean...
Yeah.
I wondered if anyone ever maintains that place. The design was such that sunlight would almost never shine inside during the day.
Wow, it's really pretty much pitch black in here. The ground is so uneven. Be careful, Yukimura. Or Chizuru. Calls her Chizuru there for a second.
Yes, Heisuke always calls Chizuru.
Yeah. Alright.
It looks like this might be tough, but let's do one thing at a time. Although we were pretty much just fumbling around in the dark, we set foot into the storehouse. Alright, time to look for Christmas decorations.
Right.
Alright. What is it? What am I looking for?
Gingerbread man.
Wait. I see a moose.
And I see the gingerbread man
Where?
at the very top, right next to the Christmas stocking.
Wait.
To the right.
Wee. I see it.
Yes.
Can make sure I click on it. Alright.
Yeah, there it is.
I see this one. Heisuke.
Heisuke, get down.
Got that. Where's the
And then
book? It says Merry Christmas on it. Got it.
Hey.
Whew. What we get? Oh, instantly to this. After that, we continued our work in silence. In silence? Wait.
I mean, they are best friends, so they're pretty content with each other.
Did we do it, though?
Yeah.
Let's see. We carried all the items in the list Ibuki had given us out of the storehouse and then began to decorate all the rooms.
The tree topper is supposed to be,
Isn't it the star-shaped one?
Oh, thanks. Then next is...
It's the empty place below that, right? How about this Santa doll?
Yeah!
Every time Heisuke turned to me, I'd hand him one ornament after the other. Heisuke stretched his arms up wide after having placed the final ornament. Shall we remember that Heisuke's the shortest out of all the guys?
Yeah. We're done! Good work.
Same to you, Heisuke. We finished earlier than expected, huh?
That's because your timing giving me the ornaments was so good. You know, you knew what exactly I needed next, and handed everything to me one after another.
It's a Lucy!
You can read.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
Oh my god.
Uh,
Hi.
we got a stream in the works right now.
Please don't
Thought
set
I-
things on fire.
Thought I'd pay a surprise visit like I always do. I have. Just like that.
How are you?
I'm alright. Just really sick of playing bad SpongeBob games.
Oh dear god.
God,
You need a break, sir.
Yes, I do.
he could be Okita.
Ogita.
Yes, in this game that she's playing.
Oh, sure. I don't know who that is, but I would be happy to.
Mischievous and loves cats.
Oh, I like cats myself.
Okay, yeah, he's Okita.
Seriously.
Wow, I've been away for like how long, and you have a completely different avatar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just
Oh,
for
shit.
this.
Yeah. I have 3 now.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
variety.
One that's normal, this one for this game, and
then
the Inkling for Splatoon.
Uh,
Which I have to make another one because I have 2 sides of me. Ninja, did you read this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It was right
what does
whenever.
Heisuke have to do?
I could
Okay.
tell just from the look in your face, so I just kind of knew what you were thinking. When I smiled at him, Heisuke looked like he'd been caught off guard and murmured,
So does that mean you usually tell what I'm thinking?
"That face, I can't." Well, yeah, because you're my childhood friend, right? Although I was smiling for some reason, Heisuke was wearing a meek sort of expression. And then he looked at me intently. Why?
Chizuru, do you know what I'm thinking about right now, then?
Oh my. Eh? Heisuke's green-tinted eyes seemed to be staring straight into my heart.
Heisuke, how's it going?
I'd never seen that kind of look in his eyes before. A look filled with anticipation. The look in Heisuke's eyes was... Recalling what he said not too long ago, I carefully answered him. I'm not really looking forward to the Christmas party tonight. Am I wrong?
No, I mean you're not wrong, but that's what I'm looking forward to. But it'd make me happy if you understood why I'm looking forward to it. You know. Even though we're childhood friends, she just doesn't understand. Or maybe it's because we've been friends for so long.
With his mixed feelings showing on his face, Heisuke headed off to report to Ibuki that we had finished. I followed after him while wondering about his mysterious behavior. Do we continue?
Anyway,
Anyway, it's been 2 hours.
I know, but I can keep going.
This game is 10 out of 10.
Yes, you can keep going. Anyway. After working ourselves to the bone, we were somehow able to finish with the decorations. Then I helped with things like setting the tables and serving the food. The fuck?
What?
Nope, never mind. It was just Garnet making a noise. Finally, after guests arrived at the venue, one after the other. But I felt like there were too many of them, for some reason. It might have just been my imagination, but it was almost like the whole school had come over. Then, once all of the invitees had gathered, we were finally ready to start the party.
Well, this is... The decorations are more elegant than I expected. The lighting in the garden is magnificent as well. I never would have guessed that this was all done in someone's home.
Button.
You goddamn snake!
Yes.
Granted, even if Serizawa-san's goal was to spite Kondo-sensei, this is still quite the effort.
Among the people who looked at the sparkling decorative lights in amazement were...
Wow! That's a whole turkey right there!
Isn't that champagne over there? I shouldn't have to ask, but there are non-alcoholic drinks for students here, right?
Silence, Corporal!
The champagne, juice, and mountain of food lined up on the tables caught people's eyes as well. When Kondo-sensei arrived last, he looked plenty surprised.
Wow. Don't tell me all of my students were invited. I can take a guess how this happened, but I expected nothing less from Serizawa-san.
He seemed relieved and re-energized, looking like he was enjoying all this. I let out a sigh of relief. I wondered if this was what Hijikata-sensei meant when he told me not to worry.
Hey, you mutt. What's the meaning of this? I don't recall inviting this many people.
Don't look at me. I had no idea about this.
Liar! Oh, I see. So this was Hijikata's doing.
We got more important things to worry about, Serizawa-san. It's already time for us to start. Having checked that all of the guests had arrived, Ibuki pressed Serizawa-san on to the proceedings. That the party was starting.
The party was starting.
Woo.
It looks like everyone has gathered here. With this Christmas party sponsored by the Serizawa household has begun.
He is so pissed. It looked like the ball had gotten rolling a bit. Everyone looked at Seti. Eh?
Don't mention balls around Okita, he'll just play with them.
God damn it. Everyone looked at Serizawa-san a little meekly at first. But soon the appetizing food lessened the tension, and after one person made a move towards it, probably Nagakura, the floodgates opened and everyone moved about freely. Before I knew it, the venue looked like a buffet party. Serizawa-san didn't say anything either, maybe since he wanted it to be a free and easy gathering. Laughter echoed from everywhere within the grounds, and groups of people who you wouldn't normally see together were exchanging words. With everything that was going on, I decided to...
I have no idea at this point. There are so many options.
Next...
Check on the group in the corner.
Oh, look around the mansion. That's what it says.
Always evaluate your surroundings.
I'm trusting the guide.
Oh.
I suddenly looked to the garden. The garden seemed large enough to measure up to the school grounds with everyone gathered there. The building wasn't just double the size of my house, but 10 times wider and more elegant to boot. I've been thinking that the whole time I was putting up the decorations, though. With it being this spacious, I started getting curious about what the other places around here were like. Oh no, I know what this is. As I was thinking that...
Oh, there you are, Chizu. Let's go explore the house together.
Huh? His kiss startled me by popping out of nowhere, and Ibuki decided to follow his example.
What?
Don't you dare. I'm not about to have you exposed to the dangers lurking around my house. Sure enough, Ibuki shook his head, completely red-faced. Then at that moment, Harada-sensei came into the room, looking puzzled as he walked up to us. Oh no.
Hey, Ryunosuke. I was going to the toilet. On my way there, I saw a room labeled kennel. Was that?
Shut up! That's not my room! It's not!
Ah, poor boy.
My son!
What was all that about? Beats me.
We cocked our heads as we watched Ibuki run off.
Faster than a roadrunner.
Oh, God. Now then, what should I get up to next?
Probably wrap things up.
You would be correct, sir. I just gotta find it. There it is.
Wrap things up.
Oh yeah, there's a new button too.
Oh, God.
There's a couple new buttons actually, but the one most prominent.
Oh goodness.
I mean, it's in my sound effects library, so... That too.
That's not gonna be abused at all.
Oh, yeah. Sipping from my near-empty glass, I took a breath and glanced at the time.
Is that the time?
A lot of time had passed since the start of the party. My worry that something might happen seemed to be an unfounded one. A smile escaped me as I watched everyone have fun.
Everyone have fun.
I looked around the room and let out a sigh of relief as the party carried on. With food settling nicely in everyone's stomachs, people started taking out the presents they got for the gift exchange one by one. Ones that could fit in the palm of your hand, others that you'd basically have to hug to carry, ones that gave metallic clanks, and others that looked soft. Ones that were left in the garden and didn't even make it inside the room in the first place. How did it get here?
Why as well?
Well,
Every present had pretty wrapping that you couldn't see through, but none of them looked ordinary or predictable in the least. We shuffled the presents around in circles, and before long, we each had one in hand.
Alright, we should open them on 3. Sarazawa-san, if you could, take the lead. Why, so you could put me on the spot with something out of my comfort zone and laugh at me for it? I'll be having a drink. Decide amongst yourselves on a cue. Guess we got no choice. Right then, Yukimura, you lead us.
Me?
That'd be nice. You help prepare the place, and it falls that you should do the honors. It's only a shout that you have to do. There's no need to overthink it. Have you met the girl?
I understand.
Come on, Sam, I'm begging you here. You know which present I got my eye on? It couldn't be the one out in the garden, is it?
I'm okay with it being from anybody. Just let it be food, please.
Is he that malnourished?
Or at least a gift card to Subway.
She mentioned it earlier today in the Discord server. I had to get some.
That's right. That's creepy.
Yes. Alright then. 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Yeah!
So that's
Alright, let's turn. I'm sorry, I'm turning something off. Okay, there we go. Shoot! I didn't get it! I wanted a year's worth of paid leave so bad! You thought that you'd be one of the presents here? And even if it was, what do you think a student was going to do with it? If you got a paid break, if a student got a paid break, would that mean that they get to go a year without going to classes? Wouldn't that be just convenient? Well, even if that were a thing, it'd just be a fancy way to skip school. Such a present even isn't here in the first place. I was hoping, even though hoping for one would be foolish. Incidentally, where's the year's worth of my bride that was supposed to go to me? As if that would be more likely than a year of paid leave. What do you even mean by a year's worth? I can't comprehend it. Well, if I ever got such a thing, I'd make sure I enjoy every minute of that year. Oh, Okita, what in the world would you do with that? Actually, don't answer. We might have a problem depending on how you answer it.
God, is there any helping the number of idiots here? Talk about a year's worth all you like. Don't you know a little sister belongs to her older brother?
Listen here, you little shit.
First of all, I'd like it if you didn't decide things on your own while ignoring what I want.
So, like I said, listen here, you little shit.
Listen here, you brat.
What's the name of my character again?
Okita. I mean, I'm just thinking that you would be perfect for him because, well, he's mischievous just like you are.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's here right now, but...
Yes, he was.
Oh.
He did it. Mitch just did the line anyway.
I did. It's a force of habit.
It's... Anyway, a cute phone strap, a book token, an assortment of goods, a soft toy. There were many presents, but I was hoping that who got what would stay secret so the sender could be saved from any potential embarrassment. Goodbye, cute chibi art. The hands on the clock wouldn't turn back and kept marching forward hour by hour. I didn't know who first pointed out that it was getting late. The night wore on and I realized how late it gotten. Hold on.
Quack.
I ain't holding on. I refuse to.
Yeah, I think he'd make a great Okita.
Oh. I like cats. Cats go baroo.
When it comes to Okita, there's like some kind of gag, I guess you could, some recurring element with him and black cats.
Oh, I had a black cat for the longest time. He was great. He was silly. Black cats are actually really cute. I don't know why they're associated with bad luck. They're adorable. Actually, I dare say they're a top tier type of kitty.
We got a
Hey, sorry.
choker here.
So,
everyone was.
so my cousin was making toast and food.
You know what they say, all toasters toast.
Yes.
Oh, no, they don't. They don't toast toast. They toast bread.
Yep.
Well, tell that to Hotel Mario.
So that's what I was hearing and smelling. Toast that got into toast. Or bread that got to toasty, you know what I mean.
Toasted the toast, not the bread.
Yeah, she's eating at 11.
Which is very strange.
She's usually asleep by now, but I guess not.
Very early breakfast.
Young lady, you have school in the morning.
She doesn't have school. We've been over this.
Hush, she doesn't know that. Yes, she does. But does she, though?
Yes, she does.
But does she?
Please don't. I'm gonna. I already have to go around like a chicken with its head cut off trying to get her registered. I hate it.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, the night wore on and I realized how late it gotten. The Christmas party wrapped up without fanfare and people started to disperse. Here we go.
Yeah.
School life.
Heisuke lived next to me anyway, so the two of us took the moonlit path back home together.
Ah, man, am I stuffed? Feels like my stomach's gonna explode and take me with it. Odd way of expressing that.
You did it pretty much throughout the whole party, Heisuke.
Yeah, hey, all the food there was delicious. You can't blame me.
Even with that in mind, it did look like you ate too much. Do you feel sick? No trouble walking?
I mean, if we go slow, then.
Honestly... Although going back home at this rate might have been just as well. I went over the memories I made today as we walked back at a leisurely pace. Today was fun. The teachers and students all seemed to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, even Hijikata sensei cracked a smile a couple of times whenever he's usually all scowls. I mean, even Serizawa-san chuckled a little, if barely. I mean, it sounded like a total villain when he did, though.
Ibuki was saying he must have been seeing things, wondering if his eyes were alright. But the one who'd laughed the most throughout had to have been Heisuke for sure. I wonder why Heisuke's smile had gotten even me feeling happy. As I thought about that while smiling myself, Heisuke also started staring at me.
Although, what made me the happiest was seeing you smile in the end.
For a moment, I wondered if he saw right through me. But Heisuke seemed to say that spontaneously, and I smiled with him at what he said. He felt the same way I did. I was too bashful to really say anything. Before I knew it, I could see my house. Well then, Heisuke. See you tomorrow.
Just a moment before you go.
That was all he said before he zipped into his house. Heisuke. I wonder what's up. He's coming back. I thought it strange as I waited, and soon Heisuke returned carrying something huge. Huh?
Oh.
It's t-
Here, my Christmas present for you.
What? It's a sheepy!
Oh my
It's a
god!
sheepy! It's a sheepy! Sheepy! Okay, so I was right for making Shimu really like Heisuke then.
Even though he truly belongs with this one right here.
Massive puppy.
I can't. I want it.
She's so flustered that the A got to miss working again. Whenever your A button wasn't working.
Right. No, I did that on purpose. I know what my finger is actually doing. Heisuke brought me a massive dog plushie. I felt like I'd seen its charming little face somewhere before and blinked several times. The stuffed animals...
I know you don't I don't know if you remember. But you really wanted it when we were little.
Oh, at the department store by the station?
Yeah, that was during Christmas, just like today.
I thought that was already ancient history.
Guess what?
My father was away because of work that Christmas, so I stayed over at Heisuke's next door. We went to a department store together and I found that stuffed toy. But even though I'd wanted it, I couldn't just beg Heisuke's parents for it. In the end, I'd given up and went home. And then it was sold the next day. I think I cried after that.
You ended up crying even though you were such a polite kid. So you must have really liked it. I wanted to do something back then, but I was too young to do anything about it at the time. It was so hard to watch. I nearly cried myself. As embarrassing as that is to admit.
It's nothing... It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, it was all because you were thinking of me so seriously. After I said that so resolutely, Heisuke wore a sheepish smile.
Heisuke and Chizuru, yeah, that's my headcanon.
Yes, same.
Well, just the other day I spotted this little fella in town. I couldn't do anything for you back then, so I thought I'd give you this as a present this time. That's all yours, Chizuru. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Sorry I kept you waiting.
My chest tightened so much and my voice gave away how I was close to tears. But Heisuke didn't mention it and just gave me a tender smile. Fuck, I don't know which one I like more, this one or what Saito did.
Oh, yeah.
The cat charms.
Yeah.
Big doggies are pretty impressive, I gotta say.
True. It's cute.
Go bar.
Ow!
Oh my goodness, that's silly.
Of course, there's the one dog that
Voices are
aggressively
silly.
tells his owner a wolf. As after he got told not to wolf.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Don't wolf. Wolf.
After that, we made plans to make our annual trip to the shrine for New Year's together and parted ways. My Christmas presents for the past 10 years were so warm and tender. Though, I was obviously happy that I got that soft toy. The fact that Heisuke went so far as to grant me what he wasn't able to so long ago made me happier than anything else. Whoosh.
Whoosh.
After arriving home from the Christmas party, I turned on the heater in my chilly room. We got mail. Who is it?
Already?
Yes.
Heisuke?
Heisuke.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Chizuru. Thanks for earlier. Merry Christmas again. I don't know if it's because I could finally give you the present I've been keeping up for so long, but I'm feeling real refreshed now. I'm gonna let you take the reign on that because I have not been able.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Do it.
Thank you so much, Heisuke, really. Let's go. It was correct.
Of fucking course.
Smart.
It's fine, it's fine. I just wanted to give it to you, that's all. Feel like you need to thank me. Then you can make me a bento next time.
Did you waste all your money on video games again, Heisuke? Is that why you're asking me?
No, I just want to enjoy your food. Yeah, I did.
Uh-huh. As the
Makes
room gradually started warming up, I recalled everything that went on tonight. What a fun Christmas day. Not to mention, remembering the events that unfolded just now made my cheeks stay warm for a good long while.
Warm cheeks, that's an unusual expression.
Well, are we
4.5.
are we doing the shrine?
I mean, I still have time.
Oh Lord. Alright, fine. But we stop at
Doing
5.
the
We're not
shrine?
doing 5.
No,
We're
not yet.
not doing the shrine. Okay.
We're
No,
doing...
we are doing the shrine, but we're
Yes.
not going to chapter 5.
Yeah, no, that's hell.
Oh, that is such hell.
Uh,
Before I knew it, the new year had passed. The year had passed, and it was finally New Year's Day. Today, January 1st, marked a new beginning. I went to a nearby shrine with Heisuke to pay our first visit of the year there, just as we'd promised on Christmas Day. On the way back,
I'm sleepy. Jesus. End up sleepwalking right now?
did you stay up late last night or something?
I've been, it was New Year's Eve and everything. What's a guy to do? This New Year's Eve special that aired on TV was so cool. Couldn't have been able to go out the next day if I'd fallen asleep. That's all I could do to stay awake.
Come on, the New Year's only just begun and you're already doing things that are bad for your health. Come to think of it, you looked pretty beat when we were visiting the shrine too. When I remembered that, I shook my head. There were tons of people who took their time offering their prayers when we went to the shrine. You prayed for a pretty long time there too. What did you pray for?
Isn't it obvious? I prayed that the winter break would get extended.
Heisuke.
Oh no, hold up. Right, I also prayed I'd grow taller. He's the shortest out of all of the Shinzengumi boys.
I think he's
Oh.
5'4".
Oh, goodness, I would accidentally crush him if I
Oh my-
walked in the same direction.
Oh my god.
What are you giggling about? I'm being pretty serious here, you know?
Pretty serious, not Foley's.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just feel like I should have expected you prayed for those kind of things. Wish.
Oh my goodness.
Eventually, my house came into view as we chatted. We've
So
been
sadly, we already did do Okita's route, so you don't get the spotlight as much. I wish you would have been on sooner. I
unfortunately.
don't mean tonight, I mean like back whenever we did it.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's stopping us from doing it again, but
Oh well.
we've been neighbors for ages and we knew each other well. We stopped in front of our houses so we could wave each other goodbye.
Thanks for going out to the shrine with me today, Chisudu.
Same to you. Alright, what were your plans for the winter break, Heisuke?
Well, it does seem like my folks will be heading up to my grandparents' place tomorrow. But I got stuff to do, so I won't be going with them. Does that basically mean I'll be home alone then?
I mean, probably, but will you be okay on your own? Like with food and stuff?
Don't treat me like I'm some kid. I'll be fine for like 2 or 3 days. But look at it this way. My parents will be home, and that means I'll be able to let loose for the whole day and game to my heart's content.
Heisuke.
I was about to say something similar to that.
Try not to stay up too late, okay?
I know that. I'll see you later then.
I was so worried for him. It wasn't strange for Heisuke to go 2 or 3 days without food or water and just while the day away gaming.
Oh my god.
Maybe I should pop in to check up on him every once in a while. Just for the time being. Muttering that under my breath, I opened my front door.
Eh?
Open the front door. How dramatic.
The next day, on January 2nd, I hung out with Olsen and finally went home when it was nighttime. What'd you say?
I said it was a week before my birthday.
Oh, right. It's already so dark out. I ended up staying out pretty late. I knew the days were shorter in winter, but the way everything suddenly went so dark still surprised me. Seeing the light on my front door made me feel relieved. As I went to open it... I spotted Heisuke sitting hunched on the stoop outside the door to his house.
Oh, that's creepy.
Heisuke, it's so cold. What are you doing out here?
Oh, Chizuru.
It's windy and cold out too. You'll get sick if you don't go inside, you know?
I can't get in.
I fucking knew it. You can't get in?
I went out for club stuff today, but it seems like I lost my keys on the way back home.
Oh. But if you wait till your parents get back... Oh!
Yeah, like I said yesterday, they went back to my grandparents' place. The earliest they'll get back is tomorrow, and that's the earliest we're talking about. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
You could try going to the police? Your key might have been returned in as lost property.
I went there and I searched every speck of the road on the way to school too, but...
Heisuke looked crestfallen, his shoulders slumping. The search must not have turned up anything. You think? Then do you want to stay over at my place until your parents come back or something?
No, I mean... no, it'd be bad for me to stay over at a girl's house. Are you afraid of cuties, Heisuke? Not to mention that Uncle Kondo's away on top of all that.
Oh god, he calls him uncle.
Uncle Kodo.
But it doesn't look like you have any way of getting into your house.
Yeah, you got a point. I tried everything, but getting in seems impossible. I'm out of options. Scared about what will happen after, but I could try asking Hajime and Soji for help.
After letting out a massive sigh, Heisuke took out his cell phone. Oh.
Hi, hello, this is Saito. Oh, Hajime? It's Heisuke. Truth is, I'm sorry, but I can't reach my phone at the moment. If you'd like to speak to me, please leave a message after the tone.
Saito.
Yeah,
Unreliable.
looks like he's away.
Why did Saito-san record a voicemail greeting using his own voice?
Because he's secretly a troll? Well, if the man's away, he's away. Next up is Soji. That would be you, Lucy.
Oh, Soji's Okie
Hello?
Oh, Soji! Truth is, I'd like your help. I got a favor to ask.
Nuh-uh.
I didn't ask anything yet!
I mean, favors for you are always either real lame or real boring to do. I'm just pulling your leg. I'm out visiting my parents right now, so I'm not around at the moment. I'll most likely be back within like 4 days, so there's probably no point in asking me for help.
Ugh, 4 days is a long time, yeah. Gotcha. Sorry for bothering you.
Okita was a no-go as well?
Yeah. Although, Ruinesque's even less likely to help. Plus, there's no way I'd be able to stay over at Sarazawa-san's place.
Nope, that is a death trap.
Oh, there.
Everyone else I could possibly think of.
Heisuke, the answer is right in front of you, god damn it.
No, it isn't. I stay at a woman's house.
Heisuke, the answer's right in front of you.
No, it isn't.
Even though Heisuke had a lot of friends, it looked like there weren't many who could have him over for the night. After he called Lord knows how many people, Heisuke's phone slipped from his hand.
Oh.
Why? Why is everyone busy with something or having plans right around every single time?
It is the new year. Lots of people are probably heading home for the holidays.
Maybe I could go at a manga cafe then? Nah, I can't. I left my wallet in the house too.
In my life.
Oh my god.
I can always sleep outdoors. I mean, I could get in the mood for some camping.
Do that when it's this cold out and you might drop dead before you even get the chance to get sick.
But, I mean, I wouldn't think you'd jump at the chance to have some guy over at your place.
You're not just some guy, you know?
It's not exactly.
You're Heisuke.
Huh?
Why is this a sudden realization for you? What I said seemed to have caught him completely off guard, judging by the look on his face.
Does she not see me as a man, or does she just trust me? It kind of blows either way.
Huh?
So, your place, huh? Oh, well, it's not like I haven't been there before. Alright, it'll be fine. I won't feel guilty about it anymore.
He muttered under his breath like he'd been convincing himself before he looked straight at me.
I won't be guilty anymore. Chizuru, thanks for helping me out, even when I'm kind of a screw-up. But that's why you're so lovable, because you're a dumbass.
Something about that didn't sit right with me, but, Wish.
Thanks for having me over.
Yes, wishing. No problem. I'll get some cushions you can sit on. You can take a seat in the meantime.
Sure.
Heisuke looked oddly nervous after he entered my house. Or rather...
Oh, right. This is your room now, isn't it?
He looked around like a kid in a candy store, which made me a little embarrassed. Seeing you look up and down my room does feel a little embarrassing, though.
I'm sorry, I just thought, it had gotten a lot girlier than it way back when.
You think so? I think it's always been like this, though.
Nah, I pretty much stopped coming to your room after I was in middle school. And I'm so surprised how neat everything is. Like, I leave my games and manga all over the place in my room.
His room is a hazard and we know it.
Yeah.
It's because I just finished doing a major cleanup. It's usually a little messier than this. I was so glad I didn't have any of the clothes I changed out of lying around. Oh god. Anyway, I've been thinking about what to do with the fact you're still in uniform. Do you want to change?
Change? Wait, you kept me into your clothes?
My clothes? Not my father's? I don't think mine would fit, but if you want to, then...
No.
They were also women's clothes, so I doubted that they'd suit Heisuke. After Heisuke and I looked at each other, we shook our heads.
I got spare uniforms at home anyway. I could spend a night wearing in this one, no problem.
You think so? In that case, why don't we have something for dinner?
Ichi Raku! I'll give you a hand, seeing as how I'm staying over. You just say the word if you need anything.
Then could you grab me the leftover soba noodles in the fridge? I can make a New Year's dish with that.
Sure thing.
Some spinach with steamed seasoned fish paste and a little bit of yuzu lemon on top, which is what that capybara has on its head.
Alright.
Look in the random chat.
Oh?
Yeah, there's a capybara.
Oh, that's cute.
I thought up a little menu as we headed for the kitchen.
I'm starved now. Thanks for the food. It was crazy delicious.
I'm happy you liked it. I just boiled some noodles, made miso soup, and cut up some garnish to put on top. It was a really simple soba noodle dish. But as Heisuke thanked me for the food, he praised it so sincerely that I ended up wanting to thank him right back. But you know, seeing you enjoy eating like this reminds me of when we were younger, Heisuke.
Oh, yeah. We used to play house pretty often, didn't we? Although, you could only cook stuff out of clay or mud back then.
I was a kid at the time.
That's alright. I know that. You know, I hadn't realized how much you'd grown, both in your cooking and in your room here.
Heisuke's eyes scrunched up completely in his smile, like he was gazing upon something dazzling. I didn't quite know why, but when I saw him with such a faraway look in his eyes, I spoke up in a small voice. We saw each other less after you started high school since we were going to different schools. But after I got into Hakuoki Academy, it seemed like we were able to be together more.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, you know the test in June? Remember those?
The first real test we had?
Yeah.
I remember you studying so much every day and looking exhausted. Right. Back then, the whole school was on edge from the penalties that came with the tests. Among everyone, Heisuke studied a lot in particular. He had looked dreadful. You did really well back then, Heisuke.
Well, it's because one of the penalties was prohibiting club activities, and I couldn't have that. Plus, there's one more reason I couldn't get a failing grade as well.
Another reason?
How could I have gone and flunked them after you let me rest on your lap?
Heisuke shot me a grin as he spoke. The way that Heisuke sometimes said embarrassing things while seeming oblivious to them troubled me. Oh god, my brain. I took a deep breath as I felt my cheeks heating up.
Aww.
During the summer break, we hung out with everyone at the pool.
Oh yeah, we did the SSS. Well, it was less like everyone went there together to hang out, and more like others heard you were going and came hurtling in to tag along.
I was surprised at first too. I didn't think everyone would be there.
Sorry for springing all that on you, but hey, it was because of everyone being there that we could have so much fun.
Would it have been Would it have been better if everyone was there by the poolside bar afterwards then?
Oh, no way. It's not fair when you put it like that.
Because we ate the giantest freaking snow cone thing in the world.
Yeah.
Just saying, I would eat that all by myself.
Oh my god.
I could.
Would you?
Yeah,
Yes, you would.
totally could.
This is a man of sheer commitment and willpower.
Oh lord. Well, you have spoon straws.
Yeah. That complicates it.
As he gave me a droll
Yeah, droll.
smile. I recalled the frap he'd gotten at the time. I forget how to say that other word.
Frappe.
Frappe.
Yeah.
Meh. Just thinking about how that frappe hurts even now.
Oh, that, huh? Yeah, it was tasty, but I don't think I'd order it again.
Wouldn't be because you got a brain freeze, would it?
No. Shut up.
It's not made for 2 people to eat. I swear, you have to have a whole party for it at least.
Or a Lucy.
Heisuke cracked a smile through his grimace before something else occurred to me. Oh, right.
Oh, right. Oh,
Wrong
God
person.
damn it.
All right. You were also really impressive during the cultural festival. Takoyaki, takoyaki.
Yeah.
Lucky is great.
You helped out.
Yes, it is.
You helped out with my class and also made takoyaki for your own class. I want takoyaki now. How do I get takoyaki?
I'm gonna see at that place tomorrow. That place near me called Zen may have it.
Ooh. You did so much like a real Renaissance man. You really stood out.
Ah, come on. If anyone stood out between us, it had to be you, right? I mean, you wore a maid outfit. You could practically smell the desire coming off of the other students in waves. Whereas they looked like they wanted to shank me for walking with you. But I can handle them easy.
I got embarrassed when I recalled all that naturally. It was part of the whole festival's atmosphere, and I poured my soul into working on it. Thinking back on it now, I did a pretty good job if I did say so myself. After that, I know it was pretty recent, but Christmas was really nice too.
Yeah, although mostly it felt like everyone was just messing around, though.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Yep, saw that coming.
Arrive, quack, leave.
Leaves. But it was an amazing time. Also, it came with this. I took my Doug plushie from top of my bed, placed it on my knee, and gave a big smile. I want that plushie.
Find a replicate and buy it IRL.
I wish.
Oh no!
Oh god. There he goes.
He did it again! Surprisingly, this is a common occurrence with him.
It was the precious gift that Heisuke had given me. Even though I wanted it when we were just little kids, he still remembered after all this time. Oh lord.
That
You know,
was
I
totally
expected you to
inappropriate,
subvert
but
my
it was funny as
expectations, so
hell.
I'm not surprised.
Having it as a present now made me so happy.
Oh, that stuffed animal I gave you?
It's super comfortable to hug.
Especially it goes quack.
It's super comfortable to hug, and it's really warm when I go to sleep.
You hug it when you sleep?
Oh, sorry. Is that childish of me?
No, not in the least.
I hug plushies when I sleep myself.
I have a very sleepy Ruby on my bed. Keisuke gave me a dry...
Wait, Ruby Rose?
No.
Oh.
Carbuncle.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Keisuke gave me... Because I'm GX trash.
Right.
Keisuke gave me a dry grin as he prodded my stuffed dog's cheeks. Seeing that put a smile on my face. My eyes shuddered fondly. Shuddered?
Shuddered, like going do 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 do.
If you hadn't told me to consider Hakuoki Academy, I definitely wouldn't have been able to make any of these memories. Thank you, Heisuke.
Anime so
You got
obsessed with
nothing to
making
thank me
memories.
for.
What was that, Lucy?
Why is everything anime related so obsessed with making memories? Still silly.
That whole thing with that big frappe was basically this game's version of a beach episode.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
I got that
they
energy.
went to a pool, but it's basically the beach episode.
Yep.
Kinda got that energy.
In fact, I only asked you to consider it, but you came to Hakuo anyway, even though you're the only girl in a sea of guys there. I should be the one grateful to you. Thank you so much, Chizuru.
After we gave each other our thanks, silence descended between us. We came to chat with one another every day as childhood friends, and as friends now. It was so natural that it felt like speaking with family, so we usually never fell silent like this. I didn't know why, but just for tonight, I couldn't find the words to say. Anyway, it's a bit early, but how about we get to sleep soon?
Right.
Then, how about you...
Oh god, I don't know. Lucy, what do you think? When should he sleep? Okay, cool.
The answer is... sleep here!
Wow.
Yep. What do I do? My living room didn't have a futon or a bed. We had a bed in the medical office of the house, but it was just for patients' medical examinations. I didn't think I'd have any guests over this evening initially, so I felt pretty conflicted about what to do. While I was thinking, Heisuke stood up, sensing my worry.
So, you got a towel or something you could lend me? I'll go sleep in the living room.
But the living room's too cold.
I'll be fine. The alternative was originally sleeping outside, you know? Sleeping in the living room's way better compared to that. Besides, it's not like I'm about to sleep in your room or anything like that.
Heisuke said that while shaking his head. But, well, After I finally finished worrying, I squeezed out a few words. I could put out another blanket on my bed, and you could sleep here?
No way! Absolutely not! If I do, then... I know, Uncle Kodo has a room, right?
My father's bedroom? I think it's a bit messy, though.
I got no problem with that. I'll just go sleep over there.
Heisuke's features screwed up in desperation, looking like he was fighting something off. I was pretty much overpowered after that, so I eventually nodded in agreement. Okay, but try not to touch anything in there too much. Heisuke gave me an airy smile and as he went for the door.
I know. Well then, night, Chizuru.
As soon as Heisuke left, a stillness suddenly swept across the room. If I really thought about it, with my father gone now, it was probably the first time in a long while that I wasn't home alone. It's kind of like having a new family member. It feels really weird. The truth was that I'd known Heisuke for over a decade, and he might have been basically like family, but while mulling over things I couldn't put my finger on, I stifled a yawn. I should also head to bed soon. I quickly changed into my pajamas, turned off the lights, and crawled under the covers. However...
Well, plot twist.
Whoosh?
Mm-hmm.
Whoosh?
No whooshes.
I can't sleep. Strangely enough, I was wide awake, and I didn't know why.
Presence of another
Go
person
to
in your house.
him.
It's normal.
Whoa, do not fall, water bottle.
Fall water bottle.
No.
That would be something that Okita would say.
yeah, that's true. Maybe it was my lifestyle during the winter break that was throwing me off my rhythm. Or maybe there was another reason. I gently pulled the covers over myself as I turned over. I also stayed up late during New Year's Eve, so that might be it.
No, it isn't.
I shouldn't have scolded Heisuke about doing the same. I have to get my daily routine back to normal in time for the new school term. As I tossed and turned, I spotted my stuffed toy dog that I had put beside my bed. I gave it a smile, albeit a tired one. It was the spitting image of the one I wanted when I was small. While I was happy to receive something that I had wanted before, what made me happier was that Heisuke had remembered all these years later. That and the fact that Heisuke still felt the same as he did back then. I gently reached for my dog plushie and hugged it tenderly. At that moment, I heard a small noise coming from the front door, then sat up abruptly. Was that a door closing? It couldn't have been a thief, surely.
Heisuke, no.
If not, then there was only one thing I could think of. I got out of bed, threw on a jacket on top of my pajamas, and opened the door.
Sure enough, Heisuke's trying to leave.
As I slowly opened the front door, a cold gust of wind hit my cheeks. Shivering, I took a step outside. And there was Heisuke, staring at the sky above. Heisuke, you'll catch a cold like this.
Oh, my bad, Chizuru. Did I wake you up?
No, don't worry. I couldn't sleep. I've been awake the whole time.
Is that right? Well, I guess it'd be natural. You wouldn't be able to sleep with some guy sleeping under your roof.
I mean, I said this earlier. You're not some guy to me. You're Heisuke.
Yeah. We've been friends for ages after all.
Heisuke looked up at the sky again, his eyes slowly lidding. His gaze looked similar to when he had been staring at me earlier. It was as if he were looking somewhere terribly far away.
Hey, look. I don't know if it's because it's cold out tonight, but the stars look crazy nice tonight. There's the moon. And what's this one? Scorpio?
I think Scorpio's a summer constellation, though. Isn't that Orion's belt?
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Eventually, the lights in my house went out, revealing even more of the stars shining brightly in the moonlit sky. It was like the dazzling starry sky was within arm's reach. We gazed upon it for a while. Before long, Heisuke let out a sigh of satisfaction and looked at me with a droll smile.
Pretty cold out after all. You should head back inside.
I said,
I want to look a little bit longer.
I want to look a little bit longer. What was that?
I don't know. I just love this pairing.
I told you it's the one that was meant to be, not Hijikata.
Fuck you, Hijikata.
I shook my head at Heisuke's suggestion. Could I look at the stars with you for just a little longer?
Huh?
I don't know. It just feels like it'd be a waste if I went to sleep now, tonight.
I mean, I'd like to chat with you a little while longer as well. But you're basically in your pajamas out here. You'll get sick with how cold it is right now.
Alright, then wait here just a moment. I'm back. I came back in after a little under 3 minutes. When he saw what I was carrying, Heisuke's eyes went round.
Is that a blanket? And are these mugs of hot chocolate?
I think we can stay warm with this. Can you scooch over there, Heisuke? Here it comes.
Yes! Gimme!
Well then.
It's so nice and warm. It's like my like it's warming up my belly from the inside.
There we go.
Yes!
It's so cute.
I would drink that.
It's hot chocolate.
Yeah. Gives me acne though.
The fragrant steam wafting off from the hot cocoa caressed our cheeks. The sensation of being warmed up from the inside made us sigh with relief.
Thanks, Chizuru.
It's no problem. Like I said before, I wanted to see the stars with you too.
The two of us stargazing, huh? We did this when we were kids too.
Like when we had to stargaze for our homework. Or when my dad was away for work and you let me stay over at yours. It's almost like now, really. It feels the same as when we were children.
It's not the same.
Hello, changed picture.
Ever
Oh,
so
that's
silly.
creepy.
Huh?
At least for me. I feel differently now to when I was a kid.
What is that?
Chizuru, do you feel the same as you were when you were a kid?
Heisuke's eyes looked infinitely more mature than they did when we were younger. His eyes and his words pinned me where I sat. I could barely speak. Well, I was like a broken doll with my mouth flapping open and shut before...
Sorry, I said something weird here.
Heisuke said that with a laugh before looking away.
Right. I drank up all my hot chocolate and my body's all warmed up. But I know you said you couldn't sleep, but do you feel like it now?
I probably could. Though earlier I felt like I couldn't fall asleep for a different reason. There's a car going vroom.
Yeah, and there was a dog outside my apartment a little bit ago.
Oh, boo.
I didn't know whether Heisuke knew how I felt as he gave me a smile and stood up. Whoops. I did not hit my microphone. Nope.
It's about time we head back in. Come on, Chizuru.
I went back into the same house with Heisuke. Doing that felt both weird and natural at the same time somehow. I softly opened the door to my house. It was the third day into the new year. Heisuke's parents came back home, so our little sleepover had come to an end without incident. I felt grateful towards Heisuke's parents, especially since they brought me a souvenir. But it looked like they gave Heisuke a scolding.
Oh,
We got mail.
Yeah.
you got mail.
You got mail.
Let's go for an encore. Happy New Year, Chizuru. You were a real lifesaver, both yesterday and today. If things had continued the way they were, I literally would have been thrown out into the cold. I feel like it should be the second one when we were kids.
This one?
That's what I'm feeling.
Let's see. Nope. I knew it.
I used to stay over a lot, huh? That's a bit embarrassing now that I think about it. Anyway, you really helped me out there. Let's have another great year.
After a lot of bustling and commotion, the third day of the year was over and done with. I was all alone in my room, but for some reason, I was engulfed in a swath of strange, hazy emotions. I felt kind of relieved, but also lonely. With those feelings in mind, I got ready to go to bed. We are not doing this tonight.
We are not. We might do this tomorrow night.
Tomorrow's art stream.
Oh yeah.
What stream?
Saturday.
We could do it Saturday night. And Sunday
Yeah.
night if you want.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, we save here.
Yes,
Oop.
we save
We
right
save.
here.
We save here.
Before you know, somebody says brother knows best.
Oh god.
Brother knows best.
No, specifically brother.
Oh.
Let's go into the shop to do the closing. Hold on. I will adjust it.
Yes.
Here's
There,
my shop.
There, you guys can see Ibuki now. You see, my third son.
Well,
Alright.
then this here's my shop.
So, this is it for today. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST is going to be art stream, or Hakuoki art stream.
Yeah.
So, please drink water.
Have a good day or night.
Yes.
Don't die because you didn't drink water, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.